Greetings, friends. It's me, Al, and this is a video going out to Rooster Hill Pottery. And I just wanted to say hello, and I always enjoy his videos, and he's always doing something interesting. And I really loved the video that you did of your journal and how you had it set up. And I have my journals here today I was going to go through because I also am trying to start a new one. The one I did last year, I had some problems with the setup, and so I'm going to try a different format because I was inspired by the way you did yours on how you wrote in the pounds for the forms that you were making, which is something important because I would put, right, how many pots I made, maybe, but never put how many pounds I used. And every time I go to remake those, I'm always trying to figure out what I did, right? And you were pretty thorough. So I'm going to try to do that kind of setup. But as you can see, I just unloaded a bisque kiln, and I got some shave bowls over there, and I'll take you over there. So I had to clean the place up because I had some news people here from Backyard and Garden, and they interviewed me, and so it was kind of nice, and I got my 3 minutes of fame. So these will need to be glazed to go out to shavers. And then over here, I'm trying this new handle type on this these little bakers. So these are onion soup bakers, or onion dish bakers. I'm not sure what the dish, onion something. But I'm trying this little swirl handle, and I'm really inspired by the Leach, John Leach, and his traditional forms, and I'm trying to get more towards that way with the pots, because here I make a lot of pots for local people, and that's kind of what my aim is. I work a lot in collaborations with other local businesses that invited me to their trails. So I have one coming up that I'm doing a build-up for, and I need to get ready for. So I'm trying to do and look at a lot of traditional forms, handle types, and things people can bake with. I had some pie plates over there off the bisque. I'll show it to you. Maybe I'll give you a little tour too. But here is pie plate here, and you can see a stack of pie plates and casserole dishes there. But anyways, so that's what I've been trying out, and so far, I've been moving rather slowly because it does take time to build up the muscle memory to forms, and kind of figure out what might look good and what might not, and try to get that homey traditional feel. It's very challenging. So I've been looking at a lot of old-timey pots and books. So I do appreciate the book review that you did, and I did buy that book on contemporary cooking. I mean, not contemporary, cooking pots. I can't remember the title, but it's on the way from Amazon because as soon as I seen you review it, I jumped in there and got it. But so I just unloaded the kiln. I have no electric kilns here. I bisque everything in gas, and so I just unloaded one, and I had a biggie bowl explode. Right, it was a little bit damp, but I thought the 2-hour warm up that I normally do would have fixed that, and it did not. I heard it go, but I allowed the firing to continue because I had the onion dish bakers down in there. But I'll show you the carnage. It was pretty bad. So after I show you this, so I got 2 updraft kilns. I'll Olympic kilns. Let me turn the so you can see. And everything looks like a junkyard here, but I was doing some raku. So all this needs to be covered up. I need to get a kiln shed. I've been covering with tarps, but I got 2 Olympic gas kilns, and then these here are updrafts that I use with burners. And so you can see the damage and carnage in there. So went right over the edge, and luckily here it only covered 1 burner port, so I was able to finish the firing. I got a pretty decent cone 06. I got a cone 06, melt it all the way down, and that allows my glaze to absorb into the pots. Okay, but I'm going to be vacuuming this out. This looks really bad. And I may have to make sure there's no fragments down in the ports covering the nozzles, right? The screw-in nozzles. So you can see all that down in there. So the other one here, I'm still waiting to cool. I have vases in there. I have a Valentine run of vases that I need to get out and glaze because everything is behind. Simply, I work full-time and 12-hour swing shifts, so it's kind of hard to get everything together. And that's one of my issues here is work-life balance. And sometimes when that basketball hoop needs to come down, so if you get time, you come over and help me out. But work-life balance, and what is that? Because anytime I take a day off, I'm beating myself up for taking that day off, and I need to see that as absorbing, right? Because when I'm taking those days off, I'm visiting family, and I'm doing all the things that allow me to produce this type of work. And I do feel enough pots go out of here to where I'm committed enough to the art form to where it's not just a hobby. I believe that I'm committed enough to do the hard things to keep things going. So that being said, sometimes I do feel like maybe I could do better, and we always feel that way. But yeah, so I guess what I'll do is give kind of like a studio tour. And I don't know if too many people have seen the studio here. The place is trashed because I'm getting ready for a show build-up, like I said. So I'm going to turn this camera around and talk a little bit about what I use. So I put everything into bread racks, and I stack things all over the place. I have about 14 bread racks that I fill up for mugs and bowls in the smalls. This is my treadle wheel, and I've been throwing a lot of pots off that. I just got done with a vase trim, so you can see stuff all over. That's a huge no-no there. So don't tell anybody, or the pottery police will be down here after me. That's my kneading table, and I just got more clay in. They discontinued my clay, so I have to do testing on another clay. These shelves here I built, these are some raw fired. They're prepping to raw fire. I did a whole load of raw fire. It came out great, but some of these larger pieces I'm not able to raw fire just because they're larger and they're more delicate. This is a huge biggie bowl I did rolled rim for my kitchen table. My wife wanted a serving bowl. She has a bunch of serving bowls, but I did one with our name on it. It's not very centered, but these are shade bowls. Then I have the electric wheel here. So that's for mass producing quickly for things like wholesale shape bowls and other projects that I'm working on. Shelving there that I need to clean out. And of course, all these biggie tiles are for casserole dishes and throwing large. And I also use small tiles right there for the smaller pots. And you can see I had lettering all overs. I was looking for something, but I just need to clean up a bit. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I need to clean up some, and then I need to start that glazing project, because if I don't get the glazing done today, especially for the vases, it could put me behind, because Valentine's Day is coming right up, and I want to do those drops so the peeps have time to get them in the mail, and their boyfriends or loved ones have time to get them flowers to put them in the vases. And in a perfect world, I would like to take sonnets and put on all of them on little cards, so they get a little poem maybe. I did that before, and it was a lot of fun. Shakespearean sonnets. So, I was going to talk about my setup in my journal, right? So let's go take a look at that. So here I have, I have 2 years in this bullet journal. I put in case it's lost, right? I put my business name on everything. So I have a sketchbook, and I wanted to talk about this journal here, but this is 2 years. I started before the year of the pandemic, 2020. This was the year of the pandemic. That's when I started it. 9/20/20. And then 2020 and 21. And I did bullet journaling, and I'd make these little sections. So things to do, things I enjoyed, and if I was living a second time, what I would have done. That's influenced by Viktor Frankl. And so here's I yell at myself sometimes. And all these things I need to do. So there's a lot of beating myself up in these books. And I should not do that, but I do. So I try to schedule out blog posts and everything. I'm trying to get... Okay, so here's what I did for a show one time. And, you know, I try to add up, if everything sells, what it will be. And I think I have a review on how the show went. So I put those in. So you can see a lot of writing, a lot of good information. But, as I said, Here's one I did, Blue Christmas. 50 mugs, 40 candle cups, 50 bowls, pie plates, 8 casserole dishes. So I did, but I never put the pounds, like I said before. So here's some of the revenue totals for, you know, some of these shows, and some of my thoughts on it, thoughts on the show. So it was really important to capture some of that. And then December 10th, I did direction setting, where I try to lay out everything for the new year, for the next year. And then this never works for me. It never works for me. So, and then sometimes I write little notes of what I learned in books that I have read, because I love books, and I love reading books on marketing. The last book I read was the new Rick Rubin book, The Way of the Artist, I think it was called. And it was a very good book. And also I'm reading lots of stuff by Seth Godin. So, but I'm trying to go back to more traditional, as I said before. Yeah, here's some Seth Godin quotes. If failure is not an option, neither is success. Right? So that's what I'm saying. When I opened that kiln and I seen that bowl that was blown up, I heard it go, and I'm okay with it, you know, because I'm practicing, and it's all practicing. And you are not your resume. You are your work. So, but I kind of want, after I filled this up, I know I'm going on for a bit, I went to this, and I didn't do too well with this format. It was mainly all written out journaling, and so for 2022, I had very little information. I did talk some about the major shows and what was happening, but I skipped a lot of information, and I feel bad about that. So I am going to, this year, switch out to this sketchbook like you did, and start laying in the things. I did that already in a small way in this written form. I started this year already, but I'm going to go to that big book. So here's my sketchbook for ideas. This goes back, way back. And so you can see here I have some ideas for pour-overs and a whole bunch of different things, handle types. And so I really like drawing, and had some ideas for lopsided bowls. And this lady, I know she does weaving on tops of gourds. So at some point I will be doing a show of large bowls with her weaving on the top. And so this was some ideas for that. I plan on doing 10 or 15 10-pound to 12-pound bowls, and having an opening at the gallery with her. That'll be a pretty interesting collaboration. A children's book, Pottery Sue. There was a girl from Pottersville whose name was Pottery Sue. She liked to play and work in clay and making pottery pots for boys and girls like you. So I have that in progress. I need some editing done on that, and I need to raise money. My friend's an illustrator, so I'm going to raise money to have her illustrate the book. And so I'm still working on that children's book. So I got everything in here. And I had another smaller sketchbook. But, yeah. So that's what's going on here. So that's what's going on here at Creek Road Pottery. And today I need to do shape bowls. I need to do wearboard of mugs for a friend that has a show on the 14th. And I also need to glaze out these onion bakers and also the Valentine vases. So I'm going to be busy. I got work Tuesday, Wednesday, but I got Thursday, Friday off. So I'll be able to get some work done Thursday, Friday. Hopefully fire both of those days, because I work 12-hour swing shift at the big paper factory, where I don't need to think. I just need to show up, not get hurt, and follow direction. The processes are pretty laid out, and when those processes mess up, there's processes for that, which is quite amazing. But here I have to do all the thinking, because everything is authentic handmade. And it's pretty amazing, and I feel it's a privilege to be able to create handmade from scratch. Not too many people do that. And even some things in the store that are tagged handmade are not handmade, but mass-produced. So be well, friends. Take care of yourselves and each other. And Rooster Hill, hopefully you have a great year. Looks like you got a really good start. And I may try to do 1,000 pots. I didn't add it up last year, but I know I did a lot. But I'll see. I might be right around that. So take care, friends. Be well. And take care of yourselves and each other, and have a great day. Happy potting.